Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the Weather Channel. I'm Vivian Brown along with Bruce Edwards, and we were talking about such a clammy day yesterday over the northeast, but we have some good news. We'll be drying out today.
That's right. Most of the wet weather's moving on through, and after some morning showers, you ought to be in pretty good shape, but the south's still sticky, of course, typical for this time of year. Some muggy weather out there, and we'll tell you all about it. Let's check out the situation now. Satellite, first of all, goes into motion, and here it is. It cranks up, and we can see cloud cover again draped over the east and down through the deep south, and especially through the Rockies, where most of the clouds are. But we have two little disturbed areas sliding through. One is coming here. You see this little narrow band of clouds producing a few thunderstorms in north central sections of Illinois, Indiana, into Ohio. And then you see a lot of cloud cover in the west, but it is beginning to break up a little bit as the monsoons are losing their punch in the overnight hours. Here's the water vapor imagery. And again, let me slide over here because we can see the clouds and the gray or the white indicating where we do have the vapor and the moisture. Where you see the dark, the black, that's where we're seeing some drier air. And as you can see, we still have some moisture hanging on along the coast down through the deep south. But look at this drier air. You see it punching on into Tennessee, northern Alabama, through the Ohio Valley, working its way into the mid-Atlantic. So it will be getting drier. Little upper level system bringing some storms here to Kansas and Nebraska, and the monsoonal moisture once again easing off as we work our way on in through the early morning hours. Here's the current weather map, and we can see our front is edging towards the coast, and as it clears the coast, we will see some of that drier air moving in. But right now, there's a few showers scattered out ahead of it from around Islip, Long Island, a few showers skirting across the island over to the Cape. Boston reporting a little light sprinkle, but again, it'll be out of here in a short time. And then on up towards Portland and Augusta and Old Town, Maine, we have some wet weather. And as the front edges off, so will most of the moisture work off with it. But as we mentioned, behind it, we got a little narrow ribbon of clouds and some moisture and some scattered showers across Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. Here's the radar look at what's going on, and here we can see that wet weather down East Maine up towards Bangor. We have some wet weather here, generally pushing off to the northeast. There's a shower exiting Boston right now, but we'll see this little cluster coming across Long Island around Montauk Point. It's going to be skirting across Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, and the Cape over the next hour or so, but nothing very heavy. Now back to the south, we see everything's pretty quiet here. A little isolated shower here up there on the New York State Thruway, and a few little spits and drizzles coming across the bay, but that's just about it. But as we work our way back through the Ohio Valley, we'll see something a bit different. 72 in Boston, so it's still sticky out ahead of that front. 74 New York and Philly, as well as D.C. But then you get behind the front at 64 in Albany, 63 Rochester, 66 Pittsburgh, so a little more tolerable back through there. Not so in the south. Generally muggy weather prevails. 82 in Miami, despite heavy thunderstorms around the region. 81 in Brownsville right now. But look at Jacksonville, Panama City, New Orleans, all that's 77. Big D is at 78. Hot Atlanta, 72. Here's the front. It is slowed down right now, and the warm, sticky air still remains to the south. A little patchy fog around Atlanta, and down around South Florida, a little trough of low pressure brings some storms to the Straits, and also bringing some heavier thunderstorms towards the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton area. So if you're thinking about doing a little boating or fishing early this morning in the Straits, the Keys, not looking real good here. You better wait till later till some of this moisture moves on through. Here's a closer look at what's going on the Gold Coast. You can see Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, West Palm, some thunderstorms in the inland area. And then here comes another little cluster. Look out, Boca. It's hitting right now, probably waking a few folks up this morning, and then coming across the Keys. There's your wet weather, westbound at about 20 miles per hour. We look to the hard land, and there's your high pressure, that ribbon of scattered showers and storms, and the little upper level system dropping a few showers around Omaha, Nebraska, down towards Russell, Kansas. You can see around Omaha, Council Bluffs, a few thunder showers here, and a thunderstorm near Russell, but is dissipating. Everything is sliding to the southeast, but it's weakening as it does, as it loses its punch, and it's continuing to work in that direction at about 15 miles an hour. The numbers across the heartland, pretty sticky as well. In St. Louis, 72. Look at KC, 79 right now. 66 in the best location of the nation, Cleveland, Ohio, as well as Chicago. Minneapolis, 64. 58 International Falls, Minnesota. Westbound, we still have the warmth in the interior of the mountains. 70 in Salt Lake, 73 in Boise, 84 Vegas, 87 in Phoenix, LA, 66. Denver, still a sticky 73. But much cooler in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle's at 56 right now compared to what you've been. You got that little frontal system forming here and a little trough coming in, so the Pacific air conditioner is going to be turned on. Widely scattered showers into the interior down towards El Paso, Texas. We take you on a tour, and you can see near Butte, Montana, there's a little bit of wet weather here, and back towards the foothills of the Rockies and the Nebraska Panhandle, a few showers near Scottsbluff, and then it's scattered across Denver and up towards Ogden, Utah, a few sprinkles, and then, as we mentioned, around El Paso, a few little bit monsoonal showers here, and that's just about it. We put it all back together, and there you have it, your current weather maps. Conditions improving in the northeast.
and the hot stuff building in the heartland. With further details on your forecast, here's Vivian.
Okay, let's begin with the midday hour. There you see a high pressure over the heartland here, the Mississippi Valley. We do have the front, though, that's draped off the New England coast and then pulling back across Tennessee into the plains. Warm air here to the western side of the front, as this is a warm front, and it'll indicate warm air advecting into some of the cooler air. And with that in mind, we'll find some showers and maybe a few thunder showers developing throughout the afternoon hours. We cannot rule out a little slither here. So far this morning, we've had some rain over central Illinois and Indiana. We think that impulse will continue to move across northern New England. But the big cities in the Northeast, not to worry. Partly cloudy conditions today, Boston, New York, Philly, and around the nation's capital. But again, just a little bit of light rain with some of those thunder showers moving across central Illinois, Indiana, maybe around Cleveland again, and near the Niagara frontier. Afternoon highs today in the 80s over a good part of the Northeast. We will find some 90s approaching our nation's capital and around Baltimore today. As a matter of fact, in D.C., we're forecasting a high of 93 degrees. Atlanta, you'll get up to about 90 degrees today after seeing only 83 degrees yesterday. The clouds and the rain kept it a little cool. We think that we'll begin to see a little bit more subsidence today, meaning sinking air, but the scattered showers and thunderstorms we'll find over the Gulf Coast. Bruce already showed you the storms we've had in southern Florida around the dry Tortugas. Special marine warnings have been issued, so as much as 1/2 of an inch to an inch can fall in some of these areas. Highs today, 90s over most of the southeast. Again, this little slither, but not to worry. Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, even St. Louis, you should find a fair amount of sunshine today. This is a little deceiving. We will find some heavier rains, though, with our warm air advecting into the cooler air. Omaha and western Iowa with highs like this.
You've seen the hit series Cops, but you've never seen Cops like this. Call now and order Cops. Too hot for TV. What the censors would not let you see. The explosive video with the most shocking footage ever recorded for Cops. From the wacky to the wild. It's uncut. Uncensored. Come on, man. Unbelievable. It's too hot to show you here. But order now and you'll see it all. This program contains the...
Ask. 9 out of 10 people say they'd rather be on vacation than at home.
Come on.
Ford. Hey, do not throw the dust.
Of course, most of the people they asked didn't own a John Deere, because in survey after survey, folks are more satisfied with John Deere than other lawn tractors.
Honey, it's green.
It sure is. Nothing runs like a deer.
For more information about John Deere lawn and garden equipment, contact your local John Deere dealer.
WxCh meteorologists, advanced weather technology. Stay ahead of the storm. Tropical updates 50 minutes past every hour on the Weather Channel. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
12 minutes now past the hour, up and away we go. For aviation weather, attention sky pilots, as we check out the situation right now, we see the frontal system moving to the east, and out with it there's some showers moving off the New England coast, and there's some cloud cover and some moisture here over the southland. A little upper level system across Iowa, portions of Iowa and Nebraska and Kansas, and a little ribbon of storms right on here. As far as your restrictions to flight, mainly along the coastal sections from New England and back down through the Appalachians where we have the clouds, and there'll be some patchy fog forming in the mountains this morning. Other than that, along the west coast, a little coastal cloud, and it's causing some IFR flying conditions. Topside winds blowing at 20 to 40 knots where you see the shade of yellow through the Ohio Valley and the mid-Atlantic with that front into the northeast. Strongest core winds up at 10,000 feet and blowing at about 40 to 60 knots here in the upper Ohio Valley. Places like Cleveland and Pittsburgh up towards Erie. And where the big boys fly, we can see the general wind flow pattern. There it is with a little bit of a trough in the east. Strongest winds 100 to 120 knots. Pilots, don't forget your pre-briefing and stay tuned for a radar update next.
Why do I keep feeling like this? Will I get over it? I can't take this anymore. What is it? And what does it mean?
Are you troubled by feelings you can't explain? The answer is just a phone call away.
The future, what does it hold for you? Will you do the right thing? Will you make the right choice? Hello, sweet spirits. I'm Kenny Kingston. The psychics on my hotline are there to help you take control of your destiny.
I never thought about calling a psychic before, but I really needed some help in making a big decision, and that's why I called Kenny's Psychic Hotline. He helped me so much.
If you really want to make changes in your life, call Kenny's Psychic Hotline because they give you the information that you really need.
All it takes is one phone call to the Kenny Kingston Psychic Hotline.
My psychics are there to help you make your wishes and your dreams become a reality. Don't wait, please. Make that telephone call now.
You can use one of these for an antenna, but there's no way you'll get the best results. Same thing goes for buying the wrong muffler. Unlike discount muffler shops, the auto systems experts at Midas give you a muffler that's made to fit your car, one with our famous guarantee. They know your muffler is a critical part of your exhaust system, and the wrong one can reduce engine performance. You do want it to perform, don't you? Midas Auto Systems experts, what can we do for you today?
Begins as a tropical wave churning over open waters. The Weather Channel Forecast Center downloads critical information while tracking what could become one of nature's most powerful forces. The storm is on the move. The Weather Channel Tropical Team stays ahead of it, using the latest in forecast technology. And if it threatens the coast, our experts will report live from the scene so you'll know what's happening. Comprehensive, up-to-the-minute tropical updates, 50 minutes past every hour on the Weather Channel. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
As promised, to look now at the radar scan. Let's begin with the national perspective and show you the showers have developed here in central Illinois and Indiana and Ohio this morning. And we have another little batch here in the eastern parts of Nebraska. They're scattered in southern Florida too, and they'll be picking up over the Intermountain region as we go through the day today. Notice how showers are exiting the New England coast. We're starting to clear out Boston, Worcester, even around to New York and Philadelphia. So partly sunny conditions expected for all of the metropolitan areas today along the northeastern coast. And most of the southeast should enjoy pretty nice conditions. Atlanta and Nashville over the Little Rock cannot rule out the stray showers, though. New Orleans, Miami, and even around Orlando. We've had some very heavy rains this morning. Special marine warnings have been issued for the Keys, including the dry Tortugas. You can see the showers and storms as warm air pushes into cooler air here, eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. And you can see how they're scattered, mainly south of Chicago, south of Detroit this morning, all moving off to the east. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sprint's going to put a winning card right in your hand.
With this card, I can call anywhere in the country for just 25 cents a minute.
She's...
I look at Florida now. You know that's the Sunshine State. Our latest satellite picture shows we do have a blob of very ominous-looking clouds moving across just to the north of Cuba here and south of Florida. We have had reports of very heavy rains and thunderstorms here, lightning associated with these. Be on the lookout, a dangerous scenario. Special marine warnings have been issued for the Keys, including the dry Tortugas, as this continues to move off to the west. So very dangerous conditions this morning. Boaters, beware. You don't want to be out and about. Sunshine index, well, about 15 minutes you'll have to stand in the sun, and you'll certainly get burned today, as you'll find a fair amount of sunshine, mainly north of Lake Okeechobee and over to the Panhandle. As a matter of fact, we do have a front that will be swinging southward, and it'll create some scattered, widely diffused thunderstorms throughout the southeast today, but they will be widely scattered. And highs today in Florida like this. Current weather next.
Inside every person who needs a minivan is someone who swore they'd never buy one. For that someone, Honda created Odyssey, with 4 doors and a fold-away third seat. It's the minivan for people who deep down inside aren't minivan people. Odyssey, the Honda of minivans.
Weather. Every day it moves and changes. There's something happening somewhere, and we bring you all of it in WeatherScope, the day's top weather stories, with live on-the-scene reports during major breaking events, up-to-the-minute forecast for the nation and specific regions, and fascinating insight that lets you understand exactly what's happening and why. WeatherScope, it's all the weather you want, every 30 minutes on the hour and half hour on the Weather Channel. Now your local forecast, and stay tuned. A comprehensive report on national weather is just ahead on WeatherScope.
Half past the hour. It is Tuesday, the 16th of July. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Edwards here with Vivian Brown as we take a look at what's going on across the country as we slide through the middle of the month.
That's right. And the good thing about it is that yesterday we had some showers, and it was a very inclement and just a cloudy, clammy day over the Northeast. But it's going to be much better today. Already we're starting to clear out as the cold front moves out to the east. Let's check it out for you as we detail the latest conditions across the country. We'd like to remind you that this morning's weather is sponsored by Haagen-Dazs. It's just perfect. Okay, now we turn to our water vapor loop, which indicates that the system across the Northeast is starting to clear out. Please forgive me for this bad image at the beginning of the sequence, but you can pretty much see that the clouds are starting to clear out over the Northeast. We're seeing just some high-level clouds right along the coast. We do have some light rain along the coast of New England this morning, but you can see the darker shading here indicating some of the drier air moving into the Northeast. And then we have a little few disturbances crossing over the Central Plains from eastern Nebraska and Kansas and skirting into Iowa. These have been producing some thunder showers this morning, and we think this will continue to slide out to the east in a very narrow band, mainly south of Chicago, south of Detroit later today. And you can see moisture still available over the immediate Gulf Coast. And these bright white clouds here just south of the Florida Peninsula enhancing some very, very heavy thunderstorms across the Keys this morning. And the monsoon pattern continues across much of the southwest. So from our water vapor loop to our satellite and radar, you can pretty much see where we have most of the action this morning. As mentioned, we still have some lingering showers right here along the New England coast. Showers increasing in southern Florida. Little upper air disturbance sliding over the Mississippi Valley with some storms. And you can see in eastern Nebraska, eastern Kansas showers, and showers have started to develop across the southwest as the moisture comes in from Mexico into this region. Now, most of the Pacific Northwest will be dry today and much cooler than what we've seen the last couple of days. Seattle, you should get up to about 70 degrees today with partly cloudy conditions. Only about 73 today. In Portland, much cooler than what we have seen. So we have our warm front kind of bowing here. That means warmer air to the west of it and the cooler air building as high pressure slides over the Mississippi Valley. And as we go through time now, this warm air will overrun the cooler air, and that's why we've had the showers to develop this morning in eastern Nebraska and Kansas, and this little disturbance moving across the mid-Mississippi Valley. Again, the Northeast, we're starting to clear out from Kennebunkport and down East Maine and right across eastern Long Island. We have some lingering showers, but again, this continues to move out to the east, and we're starting to clear out eastern New York, central and eastern Pennsylvania, most of Maryland. So Boston, we have some showers this morning, but improving by the afternoon. Partly sunny conditions, an afternoon high of about 89 degrees. Boston should get up to about 86 in New York, and around the nation's capital about 93 today, so a little warmer down here in D.C. We wake up to temperatures in the 70s along the immediate coast. Boston 73, 74 in New York and Philly 73 in our nation's capital. But you can see the slightly cooler air behind our surface cold front. Rochester 63 degrees this hour and 66 currently in Pittsburgh. Over the Midwest, we have 50s and 60s this morning. St. Louis, we wake up to 71 degrees, 79 in Kansas City, 66 in Goodland, Kansas. So it is somewhat comfortable, the overall temperatures as we wake up this morning across the Midwest. But again, here is our warm front, and to the west of it, we do have the warmer air. And as that warm air overrides the cooler air, it's called overrunning moisture. So we have the showers. They've been pretty much sparse across the region and widely scattered eastern Nebraska and Kansas. And you can see this little disturbance moving across Illinois and Indiana. A little closer inspection shows the showers in Omaha this morning, generally moving out to the east at about 20 to 25 miles an hour and over central Kansas right along Interstate 70. Over the southeast, we have our Bermuda High kind of situated off the coast here, and the broad clockwise flow around it, so we'll continue with our tropical feed here across the southeast. Moisture available, dew points are fairly high this morning, so scattered showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast today from Houston to New Orleans and over across most of Florida, including Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. We already have the rains just south of Miami, and again across the Keys, very, very heavy rains this morning. Special marine interest, be careful, as lightning is associated with these storms. So we talk about a very dangerous scenario. You know that's dangerous for boater safety. And you can see from West Palm to Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, this is all moving to the west at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. So here's the big picture the way it stands right now. A cold front swinging off the New England coast. Little disturbance sliding across the Mississippi Valley. Will not bring much in the way of inclement weather, Chicago, Detroit, or Minneapolis, so not to worry if you're in these areas. A warm front may ignite a few showers over the Intermountain region, and it'll begin to cool down over the Pacific Northwest. So the last couple of days we've had record heat, Seattle and parts of Oregon and even Utah, but there are big changes in the offing. And with more details on your big change out west, here's Bruce.
All right, let's start it off. We look at the midday weather map once again, and we will see a little front forming in the northwest. That's going to cause, again, an area of cooler weather, and that is indeed comfortable, but we see most of the action will be to the south in the warm, sticky air just ahead of the front, but it's going to clear on out, but still upper level energy rotating around will trigger a few showers. But here it is piece by piece in the northeast. The morning showers skirting on off. Mostly skies become partly sunny. Then later on this afternoon, that little narrow ribbon of scattered showers and a few embedded thunderstorms will continue to ripple on through, and little energy will rotate around. So again, this is a scattered area. Not everyone's going to get wet, won't last all day, and we're talking heavy amounts of rain, maybe a tenth to a half or so is about all we're looking at most in some of these areas here, with temperatures warm, seasonably so, lots of 80s overall. We'll even see 90 or so Baltimore and Washington, D.C., down through Richmond and Norfolk, Virginia, so it'll be some sticky weather there. Speaking of which, the front sort of sags to the south and is stalled out, and will begin to fall apart, but still the moisture lingers along the Gulf Coast in Florida, and we will see the showers and storms, some of which could be strong to potentially a real nasty one. Now we're seeing about half an inch to an inch of rain over South Florida today with that moisture, with that.
Have you ever felt like men and women are from two different planets? Then get ready to order this video.
If a woman's in a bad mood, the secret to helping her get in a good mood is getting her to talk. If you can get her to talk, the more she talks about what she's feeling, the more her feelings will change.
John Gray is the author of the bestseller Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's been published in 19 different languages and sold over 3 million copies. If you want to understand the differences between men and women, order Dr. John Gray's entertaining seminar. Available now for the first time on video. A $34.95 value. It's yours for only $9.95.
When men talk, it's basically one reason: to convey information to create a result.
Dr. Gray's tools, exercises are just immediately useful.
When women need emotional support, they give us signals. They're very clear to other women, but we men misinterpret them.
Our communication is just so much better.
It's the answer that I was looking for.
Order right now.
WeatherScope. It's all the weather you want. Every 30 minutes on the hour and half hour on the Weather Channel.
Okay, it's time now for international weather, and this time of morning we see what's going on in the European continent. We have the forecast. First, though, we'll start with our satellite picture in this part of the world. Very quiet conditions for most of the continent. We do have some moisture crossing over Iceland here. And notice a little blob of clouds developing near the Straits of Gibraltar across northern Africa into Spain and Portugal. Perhaps this system will enhance the chance of showers in this region region over the next 24 hours. So that's our forecast, a little weak trough of low pressure, perhaps just south of the Pyrenees. But you can see high pressure influencing the weather pattern everywhere else over the British Isles, the Scandinavian country, Germany, Poland, nice weather. And over former Yugoslavia near Bulgaria, maybe a little bit of light rain, and across northern Greece. Afternoon highs tomorrow like this in Europe, 60s to the north, a large area of 70s, and with the clouds and showers, maybe a little cooler in southern Spain and Portugal than what we're forecasting here. Well, that's a look at Europe. Let's check on some individual cities. London, partly cloudy, low 70s expected, partly cloudy in Athens with low 90s. Madrid, variable clouds, near 90 degrees, mostly sunny in Rome, mid-80s. And a look at the forecast for Paris, Stockholm, and Vienna. Stay with us. Your Boynton Beach Report is coming up next.
What's the easiest way to get out of a 4x4? Get into this instead. The Audi A6 Quattro. With Quattro all-wheel drive and all the comforts of a German luxury car, it's what more and more 4x4 owners are getting into and out of every day.
Test drive an Audi today. For the nearest dealer, call 1-800-4AUDI.
Right now, the weather is changing. What's here today can be gone tomorrow. Because we know you need to plan and prepare, we dedicate a special team to forecasting the outlook for the days ahead. So you know what to expect. Watch our 5-day planner, 20 minutes after every hour on the Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Let's go to the coast. Boat and beach time. That's right. It's vacation time of the year, and if you're on vacation thinking about a little R&R, well, we do have that front edging on through, so we still see some clouds and scattered showers here, but it's going to get better in the northeast and mid-Atlantic. The south will see the clouds, and we'll have a few problems here. But into the lakes, well, it's the winds generally for the boaters, 15-25 over Erie, Ontario, and Huron, and that's what you'll find over much of the New England coast through Long Island Sound with the front coming offshore. It's a little bit of a chop here, but hey, Lake Erie water's at 72. That's swimming weather, my friends, at Edgewater Park for sure. Southbound we go. A little winds, a little feisty around the coast of Florida. Water temperatures are quite warm. Matter of fact, you want to watch out, though, boaters and fishermen right now, because we do have some storms moving in around Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale with the Florida Keys and the Straits, as you can see, a little unsettled here for today. So wait a little while till things improve. Along the west coast, generally we're looking at 15 to 25 knot winds all up and down the coast, except around San Diego, they'll be a little lighter. We'll check the tropics, see what's brewing after a very active week with Bertha next.
Are you sick and tired of throwing out spoiled food? Of course, it's like throwing money down the drain. And the smell. Then how do you keep food fresher longer? Simple. Mr. Foods Aloe Fresh. It's today's way to slow food decay. Just put a couple in your fridge. It's easy. Well, you see, Mr. Foods Aloe Fresh works by absorbing moisture and odors like a sponge. It also absorbs natural gases that decay food. Baking soda can't do that, and air freshener, forget it. It just covers up the odor. Aloe Fresh also keeps food fresher up to twice as long. Now that saves big money. And it's great anywhere that breeds mold or mildew or bad odors. Mr. Foods Aloe Fresh even freshens itself. Just pop it in the microwave and it comes out like new.
To order Mr. Foods Aloe Fresh, call 1-800-832-8700 or send $19.95 for a package of 3 plus postage to the address on your screen.
A few days old and still crisp. Mr. Foods Aloe Fresh. Ooh, it's so good.
Get weather forecasts for over 900 cities nationwide any time of day on the Weather Channel website, www.weather.com. No place on Earth has better weather.
Why do I keep feeling like this? Will I get over it? I can't take this anymore. What is it? And what does it mean?
Are you troubled by feelings you can't explain? The answer is just a phone call away.
The future, what does it hold for you? Will you do the right thing? Will you make the right choice? Hello, sweet spirits. I'm Kenny Kingston. The psychics on my hotline are there to help you take control of your destiny.
I never thought about calling a psychic before, but I really needed some help in making a big decision, and that's why I called Kenny Psychic Hotline. He helped me so much.
If you really want to make changes in your life, call Kenny's Psychic Hotline because they give you the information that you really need.
All it takes is one phone call to the Kenny Kingston Psychic Hotline.
My psychics are there to help you make your wishes and your dreams become a reality. Don't wait, please. Make that telephone call now.
This is your local forecast. Information you can plan on, because now we show it on the 8s of every hour. Local on the 8s on the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on the Weather Channel. It is now about 10 minutes before the hour. Time for the tropics to get the very latest on what's going on across the Atlantic Basin. And we'll take a sneak preview at the Pacific Basin, too, because we do have a typhoon out across the East Pacific. Now, as we look at the Atlantic first, throughout the month of July, these are the areas that are more favored for tropical development. The areas in red here, the western Atlantic, just north of the Caribbean, and you can see here the Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche, even the Western Caribbean, a favorite area for tropical development throughout the month of July. As between July 11th and the 20th, over the last 100 years or so, we've had 18 storms to develop, and generally they've developed in these areas. Toward the latter part of the month, we start to focus a little bit farther out across the central Atlantic, as we've had 36 storms to develop, and about a dozen of them developed out in this region between July 21st and the 31st over the last 100 years. Remember Bertha now, it developed here off the coast of Africa and then moved across the open waters of the Atlantic and made its way across the northern islands here. It was strongest as it moved just north of Puerto Rico, packing winds of 115 miles an hour. And then remember, it came on shore late Friday, early Saturday along the southeast coast of North Carolina, and then zipped its way northward off the New England coast, bringing very, very heavy rains. So Bertha was our second storm across the Atlantic Basin for the 1996 season. Remember, Arthur developed right off the coast of Florida, so we can put checks by Arthur and Bertha. Our next storm will be Cesar, and then we'll go to Dolly and Edward and Fran and Gustav, and the list continues. Of course, we'll keep you posted throughout tropical season on the very latest, or hurricane season on the very latest. Here's a look at our latest satellite picture across the Atlantic Basin to see if anything is going on. We have quiet conditions across the central Atlantic here. We've had a couple of systems kind of coming off the African coast. None of them too impressive at the moment. We do have our most impressive waves, I'd say, right about here in the eastern Caribbean, and another here in the western Caribbean. This one is kind of interacting with an upper level low, and you can pretty much see the flare-up it's causing just south of Florida. We've had very heavy rains, and special marine warnings have been issued for the Keys and the Dry Tortugas, but this is not organized in nature in terms of a tropical system that is threatening or anything. As a matter of fact, we don't think that this will become a tropical storm or anything, but of course we'll keep you posted. We'll keep our eyes on it, and this next little wave across Hispaniola causing some flare-up here. This is not organized either. Of course, it's been the west coast of Africa. See if anything is developing here. We've had a couple of waves, and they've had some convection with them, but for the most part, very quiet now off the west coast of Africa here as the waves move off to the west. So things are fairly quiet across the Atlantic Basin as far as the tropics go. You can see quiet conditions. The only thing of interest would be these two little waves here, and we will keep our eyes on this and keep you posted on the latest. Okay, we do have Typhoon Eve now, packing winds of about 100 miles an hour, so it's not a super typhoon, but it is perhaps expected to become a super typhoon as it gets closer and closer to Japan. So we'll keep you posted now on Typhoon Eve as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. Here it is right here across the western Pacific. Okay, that's a look at the tropics. Now let's check on your forecast. This look ahead is sponsored by your local Oldsmobile retailers. Here's a look at the afternoon highs on Wednesday. Now tomorrow it'll get warmer across the plains as a ridge of high pressure reestablishes itself. We'll find 90s, even 100s from Texas all the way to South Dakota. So the heat right here. And for the opening ceremonies Friday in Atlanta, the heat returns. We'll be back in the 90s. But you can see the cool down over the Pacific Northwest. Highs only in the 60s and 70s opposed to the record heat we've had the last couple of days. A few scattered showers and storms, the northern side of our ridge of high pressure here over the southeast. We'll watch this little impulse slide into Chicago Thursday and Detroit with rain showers. And then moving into New England on Friday, so Boston, New York, Philly, the chance of showers. Start to improve though on Saturday. They'll just be isolated in nature across the south. Well, that's a look ahead. Stay with us. Coming up in a moment, we will check on the highways and byways for your travel plans on this Tuesday.
It may surprise you that an engine set a world record for power and durability by traveling over 15,000 consecutive miles at an average speed of 158 miles per hour, or that a motorsports version won the grueling 24 hours at Daytona and the 12 hours at Sebring. But what's truly surprising is where they both came from, the 32-valve dual overhead cam Aurora V8. Aurora by Oldsmobile.
If you drink bottled water, then in just a year, you probably buy this many gallons. Or you could have the same bottled water quality from just one Clearbrook water filter. Because this is a new filter you don't have to change.
Clearbrook is guaranteed for 3 years or 3,000 gallons to remove organic contaminants, including 99% of chlorine. And it installs in less than 15 minutes.
So why waste time and money hassling with bottled water when you can have bottled water quality in your own kitchen?
Order your Clearbrook for just $89.95. Choose from countertop, under counter, or refrigerator ice maker. Order now and you'll get this free tap water testing kit. Call 1-800-643-2006. That's 1-800-643-2006. Order now.
We've had a Clearbrook for years, and I haven't had to change a filter or buy one bottle of water, and neither will you.
And now it's time for the Michelin Drivers Report, brought to you by Michelin and your participating Michelin dealers.
Well, the travel trouble spot today is a scattered one, and that's across the heartland through the Corn Belt. There are a few scattered showers near Omaha and Lincoln and down towards Topeka, Kansas, but again, scattered is the operative word. But portions of I-80 will be damp. And we have a little ribbon of scattered showers working across section of I-70, perhaps. We've got some showers and thunder showers around Lafayette, Indiana, and a little bit of wet weather moving towards Cleveland. And as we check out on the radar, we can see, again, a little scattered area of rain around Lafayette, Indiana, north of Indianapolis, sliding off to the east. There are a few showers skirting the southwest suburbs around Parma and Middleburg Heights, heading towards Hopkins Airport and cruising on east. And so we'll have some wet roads, but not a big deal here. Through the western mountains, we'll see some scattered showers and storms through the afternoon. Same along the Gulf Coast, while the rain in the northeast will be departing. But later on today, with a little upper level energy could bring a few scattered thunderstorms here. But an upper level system could bring some severe weather to the heartland, and we may see some severe weather around Salt Lake City. Winds will be gusty across the Plain States for today and fog in the Appalachians.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year, unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It's the one tire that gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus control in any driving condition. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years. The Michelin X1.
Find Michelin tires at this dealer near you, because so much is riding on your tires. Now